Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my 100 Days in a Flat World series. This is the final episode, days 75 to 100. And on day 75, I pretty much just started off with working on my mountain, working on adding the buildings onto the top of it, and just seeing what we could do there. Day 76, I pretty much just continued working on it, not anything too crazy, taking some views from afar. Seeing what I could do. A lot of it was not planned out, actually. I was just kind of figuring out what I wanted to do as I went. This continued on to day 77 as well. Of course, I also needed to get some more materials for it, so I spent some time at my cobblestone generator, where I would then smelt it and then use that to add some textures into the mountain as well, so that it didn't look so flat. I continued doing that into day 78 as well. I was really liking the way that it looked, so I just continued that. A little bit of a faraway view. Day 79, I started on some custom trees, and this is a style that I actually hadn't done before, and I really liked it, so I ended up going a little crazy with it. But I just worked on those for pretty much all of day 79. Just kind of on and off, putting trees in different spots. And then day 80, I decided it looked really plain and boring and added some grass before going back to adding some more custom trees. Day 81, of course, I needed more trees, but I spread some out into places that weren't just where the little mountain was, which I did also into day 81 as well. I also took down some of the buildings that were in my way, and on day 82, just kind of cleaned things up a little bit that needed to be done, but I hadn't really got to them yet, so I worked on that for a little bit. And then on day 83, I wasn't actually really sure what I wanted to do. So I just pretty much spent the entire day fishing, so I could try and come up with an idea on what exactly I wanted to do. So I just fished and fished the entire day, and then on day 84, I decided I was going to go on a little journey. I didn't really have anything in mind of what I wanted to get. I was pretty much just going for the fun of it, to see what was out there, see if I could find any more armor or tools like that. But this went on for a few days, just pretty much repeating itself, looking, finding. I'm on day 85 right now, just seeing what's out there. I even did die once. I fell off of the top of this stronghold, and died. Thankfully, my spawn was at one of the villages, so it didn't take too long to get back. Day 86 is just continuing off, trying to see what's out there, see what we can find, any good resources. And day 87, I finally went back to my village and decided that it was time to get back to working. But of course, I needed a little fishing break. So I did a bit of fishing as well on day 87. And then on day 88 is when we really got back into it. So I started off with some cats. I bred some up, got 2 new little kittens, and then I started working on the mountain again. I wanted to add a little bit more shape and detail to it. So I went and got more cobblestone from the little generator, and then added some more mountain to the mountain. Of course, though, I did end up running out pretty quickly, so I went back and hung out at the cobblestone generator for a little bit to try and get some more. Day 89, I was also still at the cobblestone generator, just mining away, trying to get as much as I possibly could. Before I went back to adding more cobble onto the mountains, I do end up adding more just like stone to it as well, like I did with the rest of the mountain. On day 90, I'm still working on the mountain. A little bit of a faraway view, and then I start working on the other side of the mountain. I'm just trying to make it look a little bit nicer, spread it out a little bit, and give it less of a harsh ending to it. So I'm just kind of working on that for a little bit. Day 91 was once again continuing off with the side of the mountain and then getting more cobble like usual. And then day 92, I'm back to adding more stuff onto the mountain. I was really just trying to make it look a little bit more natural and less ugly, I guess. I don't know. Day 92 is when I finally added some more stone onto it, so it didn't look so cobble-y. I did everything just kind of in groups in random spots, because the amount of stone that I did have was pretty limited, but I wanted it to look nice. Day 93, I went and gathered some more leaves so that I could add some more like bush shrubbery type stuff on the mountain, like I had done in the first little section. Was just doing that on the new sections. I worked pretty much in every spot that needed a bit of greenery, which was mainly the new areas, but you know. And then I also added some custom trees on top of the mountain as well, because it just looked a little off with no depth to it, because obviously the mountain is just a wall, it's not a real mountain. So I felt like it needed something on top of it, and the custom trees, because they're super thin, they seemed like they would work pretty well, and I was actually liking the way that they looked. So I continued those, and I tried to make it look a little bit more of like a natural incline to the trees on top. So I added one or two at the bottom base little area there, and then continued off adding some more higher up into the more center area of the mountain. Day 94, I'm just continuing off with some more custom trees. This side, this one being on the other side of the mountain. And then after that, I wanted to add a little bit of dirt on to the stony areas, just to help add a little bit more color into it, because it was really gray and green, and I felt like it needed just a bit of brown on it. So just went around adding some dirt on top of some stone areas, mainly focusing near the base of the mountain, but I did add some higher up as well. And then I went back to farming. I needed some bone meal, so most of this just went into the composter and was turned into bone meal, though some was kept for food as well. And I used the bone meal to just add some more grass near the base of the mountain so that it looked like it flowed a little bit more naturally and just looked like it had a little bit more detail. And some of the grass, I just used the shears to pick up some of the like tall grass and whatnot, so that I could be able to place it on onto the dirt that is spread out throughout the mountain, the ones that wouldn't get turned into grass blocks, just help make them look a little bit nicer. Day 95, I tore down some of the trees that were right beside the mountain, because they were looking ugly and obstructing my view of all the work that I had been doing. And and then I took some of the extra cobble I had and used that as like a boulder kind of thing to just kind of add a little bit more texture to the ground. I also used some water to add some melons to the ground as well. Melons, pumpkins, I actually can't remember which one they were. It was one of them. I didn't really have a reason for this. I just thought it might look cool. So I went around and I did that in a few locations. And then I also put some vines around, just because I thought it might break up some of the stone areas that I didn't have a lot of greenery or dirt in. Day 96, I did a little bit of fishing, so I could try and figure out what I wanted to do for the last few days of the whole series, I guess. And I didn't really think of anything, so I pretty much just spent some time fishing, just for fun. To think, and that's about it. At this point, I was honestly kind of having a hard time trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I was really just waiting for the series to be over. So I was really just enjoying the peaceful fishing type of all of this. But day 97, I did get back to the grind, and I tore down some of the buildings that I had started burning down, and never finished tearing down. So I worked on getting rid of those, just because I wanted to make the area look a little bit more nicer before I ended the series. So I tore all of those down, and then I decided that the mountain would look really good with a waterfall. So I figured out where I would place the waterfall, and then I went up to the mountain so that I could go place some water, make a little waterfall. I just kind of picked a random spot, went down, looked, saw how it looked, decided I liked it, and then continued on. Day 98, I did a little bit of farming, just to try and get a little bit of extra stuff, a little bit of extra food, so that I could breed my sheep as well as breed my cows for one final time in the series. And I actually pretty much didn't end up using any sheep in the entire series, and I barely ended up using any of my cows. So it was kind of pointless, but I had them. They were there. And then I did a little bit of more fishing, just kind of to break everything up a little bit, so I wasn't spending the whole time mindlessly farming or whatever. And then on day 99, I continued off with a little bit more tidying up of the areas. So I got rid of this terrible mess of oak trees that I had beside my house and my storage house. Just got rid of all that, cleaned it all up. And while I was cleaning all that up, I actually found a wandering trader who had moss blocks. So I bought some and then used some of the moss down below the mountain. And then I also took some of the little mini tree shrub things and used them for some more trees, both at the base and the top of the mountain, just because I thought it might look a little bit nicer as kind of like a difference in trees, so that they all didn't look like the same type of tree. So I went around and did that. A little faraway look, a little faraway view. Everything was looking really good and I was pretty happy with it. And then finally we hit day 100, which is the final day. So I decided just to take a little look around my area, see what all I had done, which it doesn't really look like a lot, but it really felt like a lot in the process. So I pretty much just went around, looked at everything, saw my villagers, which I also barely ended up using. But yeah, so that was pretty much the entire series, which was kind of crazy. I think it's actually my first series that I've completely finished entirely without giving up partway through, or just deciding that I didn't feel like doing it partway through. So I'm glad that I finished it, and I'm really happy with the way that it looks. Surprisingly, everything actually looks pretty nice, even though I didn't end up finishing everything. Partly because I did forget about a few things, but you know, it is what it is. And yeah, so this is what I managed to do in the 100 Days in a Flat World series. If you guys want to see more 100 Days in a Blank World or whatever, just let me know. I'm totally down to do some more in the future. And I'll see you guys in the next video next week, hopefully. Bye!